I'd like to enter into the record the New York Times article, as migrant children were put to work, U.S. ignored warnings. You have at every stage facilitated this modern-day indentured servitude of minor children. Why should you not be impeached for this?
Senator, I look forward to discussing this issue further because you are misstating the facts so terribly.
I am reading you the facts from articles in the news.
That was Missouri Senator Josh Hawley grilling the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas during that Senate hearing yesterday. Hawley was referring to a recent New York Times report, which found that at least 5 Health and Human Services staff members were pushed out after raising concerns about child safety. Lee Zeldin in the studio with us this morning. Your thoughts?
I love how you have these witnesses who will say, I would love to have a conversation with you about that. I'd love to talk about it. Like, here we are.
Right.
The cameras are on.
We're talking now.
It was so frustrating. It happened to me so many times. And you're asking a question like, well, we can't answer that. We have to have that conversation in a classified setting. So, okay, maybe there's something really important that you have to tell us. And you have the meeting in classified setting. You realize the reason why you call it classified is not because it gives out some type of great secrets, but because it's embarrassing. I think it's actually a fair question for Senator Hawley to be asking the secretary, why do you deserve to keep your job?
Right.
Yeah. And if you're so proud of the work that you've been doing, well, let's have that conversation right here and there. But instead, the secretary wants to cower back and avoid the accountability to filibuster the time. And kudos to Senator Hawley and his colleagues for wanting to press the guy.
How many votes do you need to get him impeached in the Senate? Will it ever happen?
No. And we were talking about this earlier. The Biden administration probably replace him with someone who is just as bad or even worse. But you need to get the votes in the Senate, which is a majority Democrat right now.
We spoke to Kansas Senator Roger Marshall yesterday. He's calling for Mayorkas to be removed from the Department of Homeland Security as well. Watch this.
Mr. Secretary, our borders are not under control. Mr. Secretary, you are derelict in your duties. I would be derelict to not do something about this. And that's why I have a draft resolution here that I intend to introduce in the coming days that would require the Senate to take a vote of no confidence on Secretary Mayorkas.
Yeah, but Senator Sinema is from Arizona. She's right there at the border. Could she vote to remove Mayorkas? What about a Senator Manchin?
They both could. It still wouldn't put them over the top to be able to get done. Senator Manchin's going to have a really tough re-election fight. Same thing with Senator Sinema.
I'm thinking Sinema,
and the Democratic Party has already left her. Yeah. So you might as well give it a shot.
Well, she left them, too. She says she's an independent now.
Remember the lead-in, he said they were misstating the facts terribly, and all we focus on is the politics. And the funny thing is, the gall of Mayorkas, they showed the facts right behind him.
The facts are right there, yeah.
Right behind him, the child immigrant labor. If we put up the stats for fentanyl drug overdoses in the United States since Biden took office are up double digits. The facts are pesky things, and they point to actually changing. We need a change in leadership, a change in policy, but here we are. We're now talking about a power struggle.
When I interviewed Senator Manchin recently, I asked him about Mayorkas, and he said, Maria, you can't blame Mayorkas. He's being given a directive. He's being told by the Biden administration to tell us that the border is secure.
Well, you've been to the border.
I know.
You know it's not secure.
I've been to the border 5 times. I know that it's not secure.
Well, and it's amazing to hear the senator that you interviewed yesterday make the comment that the border is not under control. I would actually argue the border is totally out of control.
Yeah.
Forget under control. And the fact that there is no leadership or no willingness by the administration to actually get it back under control is what's mind-boggling. And then the double talk that says, "Oh no, we're doing the right thing." Right? So, Mayorkas to say, "No, we're doing the best we can, and we're trying to look out for these kids." And you have the wrong set of facts. No, we have the right set of facts.
Yeah.
The problem is you don't have the mission because the mission hasn't been highlighted from the White House, and the White House doesn't want that mission.
By the way, that was an incredible admission in the last hearing when they said we do not have operational control of the border. Who does? The dangerous drug cartels. Yeah. And they're making billions of dollars. It's unbelievable to me that these drug cartels are the ones who are actually deciding who comes into America and who doesn't, and at what price.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? That the fact that we could, any of us, debate whether a wall works. Walls are everywhere. Fences are on Main Street.
Right.
There is a security guard downstairs to come to this building, as there is at every building in New York. There are turnstiles in the subway. The notion that you don't want a wall on your really?
By the way, there's a wall in Nancy Pelosi's district, isn't there?
Mark Zuckerberg has a wall around his house. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think Senator Manchin, in a way, is both right and wrong. I mean, it's true, yes. Secretary Mayorkas is implementing a policy that comes from the president. However, you still need to hold the guy accountable who is responsible for securing it. You don't have President Biden sitting in front of you at the committee hearing. Who else is a better person to ask the tough questions, to demand the accountability from, if you're just going to give all these people a free pass? President Biden, Vice President Harris, they're not going to take that seat.
Well, she's looking for the root causes. I would say the root cause of what has happened is Joe Biden walking into the White House